Hi, again, I'm also on Zoom at the same time. So it's me, Miss Michelle, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some salt dough clay pumpkin slash, it's going to have like your baby's handprint and footprint in it. And I'm here with Miss Maya. I'll show you guys Maya. And again, just let me know if you're here. There's Maya. Hi, Maya. Hi. She's going to help me. It's going to be super fun. I'm gonna be giving you guys a video of this later too. So this way, if you weren't able to follow along with me now, you could follow along with me later. But it is the perfect craft for Halloween, which is on Saturday already. All right. So anyone here? Anyone? Just let me know. All right. That's okay. Just tune in later. I'll post the video. Okay, we're gonna get started anyway. Miss Rosie wants to be part of this. My little kitty cat. All right, so what we're going to need is a mixing bowl, okay? And we're going to need a spoon. All right, you're gonna need a measuring cup. Okay, you're gonna need flour, bag of flour. And you're going to need some water. I have water inside of here, which we're going to measure out. Okay. And you're going to need some salt. And you're going to need a baby. And we got our baby right here. All right. So, you know what? We're just going to go ahead and get started. All right. And I'm going to share lots of tips. I've done salt dough for many times. I'm also going to read a little book to you guys. So lots to look forward to. It's going to be super fun. Okay. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be mixing our salt and our flour. So I'm going to tell you the exact measurements that you need, and it's going to make too much, which will be super fun because you'll have some later. You'll probably have some extra for your children to play with, okay? So that's the idea. We're going to have some for our project and then some to play with later on, okay? So we're going to need exactly 1 cup of salt. So I think what I'll do is I'll just measure it right into here. Sounds like a lot of salt, doesn't it? Now, the fact that it's so salty will hopefully make it not taste good, because I have a feeling that my little friend Maya right here will probably like to eat some. Okay, so 1 cup of salt. Okay, I just dumped it in my bowl. All right, and now we need 4 cups of flour. All right, I'm gonna use regular flour. Maya really wants to be heard. Okay, this is gonna be super fun for Maya. We need 4 cups of flour. So I got 1. I've got 2. Hold on. 2. I've got 3. This is fun with preschoolers too, because you can count out stuff with them. You can measure with them. And I've got 4. Okay. So that's 4 cups of flour. Okay. Next thing I'm gonna need is a cup and a half of water. Okay, so I'm gonna this has water in it. I'm gonna use my measuring cup. So I've got, I'm just gonna measure like this, I think. So I've got 1 cup, and then I'm gonna pour out approximately a half a cup. So there's a half a cup in here. I just did it in my 1 cup measuring cup. It's fine. She just wants to be part of it. That's what's going on here. Okay, so I'm just mixing. I have my little spoon and I'm mixing around. You are gonna have to get your hands in here at some point. Okay, I hate to say that because it is so messy, but this is a great part for your children to do. They could be kneading it. What's the matter? What is that? I'm gonna take my rings off. This is a really good tip. So take your rings off of you because they will get yucky with clay. Here, you need that. Here you go. There you go. So just give her a bottle. I know on Facebook Live you can't see Maya. On Zoom you can. I have 2 different programs going. So basically I'm just mixing this together. So again, our measurements, because I see that some people are just joining us, and that's cool. Our measurements were 1 cup of salt, 4 cups of flour, and 1.5 cups of water, okay? And you're just mixing it together. I'm using a spoon at first, but I am actually gonna use my hands and I'm gonna knead it because it's just will work out better. So you're gonna end up getting your hands kind of dirty. It's gonna make a pizza dough consistency. So you're gonna be kneading this and kneading this until it gets that perfect consistency where all the clumps are gone. So I'll just show you what I'm working with. Okay, and hello there. So anytime. What's the matter, you little baby? I think she wants to play with the dough. I'm gonna give her some dough to knead. There you go. Okay. So this part could take you a few minutes. If it's feeling too dry, you might put a touch more water into it. It's your choice. I think I actually am. I followed a recipe, but sometimes you have to stray a little bit from the recipe. I'm just gonna put a touch more water. I can always add more. So, you know, you can add a little bit more water at a time. Okay, so I poured the water last. And hi there, I see I've got some new listeners. I will be posting this video later, so if you missed the beginning, don't worry about it, okay? But again, to make our salt dough clay, which is what we're doing right now, you're gonna need your mixing bowl, okay? You're gonna take 1 cup of salt, 4 cups of flour, regular white flour, and you're gonna put them in the bowl together. And then you're gonna add 1.5 cups of water and you're gonna start to knead it. And it should be making a pizza dough consistency. Maya's trying the clay. I think she's deciding she doesn't like it. Hopefully that's what she's deciding. I see I got some people tuning in, so happy, okay? That makes me so, so happy. I think I'm gonna get like a little placemat to work on. Okay, so I'll be right back. Let me just go grab my placemat. Maya's enjoying her clay. Let me see here. You know what? Okay, here we are. Actually, my friend Kristen gave me these placemats. Gonna give one to Miss Maya. Why not? Because it's got like little monsters on it and it's Halloween. And I got one for me. Okay. So this way the clay doesn't stick to the table. So I've got my lump of clay here. Of course I'm getting clay on like everything right now. And it's just what happens with me sometimes. Okay. So I'm working on my placemat and I'm just kneading my lump of clay. So if you've ever taken a clay class with me, this kneading that I'm doing is really the same thing as wedging. I'm sorry, I'm just adjusting my camera and it's still not really working out. All right, I'll show you my clay. So I'm kneading it, I'm pushing it into itself. So this is an important step, and on Zoom I'm gonna do the same here. So I push the clay into itself, and I'm just gonna keep doing this until all those lumps just disappear. Okay, so this is called wedging. When we work with earth clay, which we normally do in our studio, that is called wedging. So the wedging technique. So when we're using regular earthenware clay at the studio, what we're trying to do by wedging is to get rid of pesky air bubbles that are hidden inside the clay. With this type of clay, we're trying to just mix it. I'm trying to mix the clay. Okay. So I've got my clay here. It still has like a lot of spots that are not well mixed. So I'm just going to keep taking a minute here and doing my wedging. Okay, because you really, really want it to be completely consistent by the time that we start doing our sculpting, which is coming up. Okay. So just again, wedging, wedging, wedging. And I know if you're watching online, it's probably pretty boring, or maybe you're actually doing this along with me. If you're watching the video later, you can always pause and do this on your own, or you can fast forward. So, but this is very, very important when we're working with any kind of salt dough. All right. So our clay is pretty well mixed at this point. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like really well mixed. So it looks like this. So basically really like pizza dough. Okay, it should be even thicker than pizza dough. So if it's a little bit thicker than pizza dough, then you did it right. What you're going to want now is a rolling pin. And you're going to want a rolling pin and a butter knife, those two things. So at this time, you can go get your rolling pin and your butter knife, okay? Okay, so I've got my rolling pin here, all right? And what I'm gonna do is roll this out really super flat. Now, it depends on the age of the child who is doing this project with you. So if you're working with a toddler who is like 2.5 to 5 years old, you're gonna need a bigger pumpkin because they're gonna have bigger feet and hands, okay? But if you're working with a baby like I am, it could definitely be smaller. You wanna roll this out to about, I'm gonna say about 1/3 of an inch thick, okay? So I'll show you what that looks like in my mind. This is still too thick. Okay, so I just want to show you what too thick looks like. That's still too thick. When I go to microwave this later, it's not going to microwave evenly or correctly if it's too thick. So you want it thinner, all right? And of course, once you make this project out of salt dough, the sky is the limit. There's so much you can do with salt dough. It's like so much fun to work with. And it's perfect for a rainy day like this. It's like the perfect rainy day project. So just rolling it out still. And this is a great step for your toddler to help you with if you have a toddler with you or an older child. And of course you can do this with a child of any age or even an adult if you like. You can do this with whoever you like, okay? That's the beauty and fun of this project. It doesn't just have to be for children. You can make one, you know, with your own hand, foot, and print, you know, and handprint and footprint if you like. So I'm still rolling out my clay. What I've been doing is flipping it. I like to flip my clay as I'm rolling it out. This is the same as what I would do with our earthenware clay that we would be using at the studio. So I'm gonna give it a flip again. And what you'll notice is that the other side's like really super smooth. Okay, so this is gonna help with evenness and smoothness. Okay, and we're almost ready for our babies to help us. It's gonna be super fun. All right, so I wanna show you how to cut the shape of your pumpkin. So that's coming up. My friends on Facebook Live, I just took you off the tripod. I just want to show you, and I know it's a little hard to see because of the way I'm holding the camera. My friends on Zoom, hello. But I just want to show you what we're working with. So basically, it just looks like a puddle right now. If you could think of like a puddle of clay, it's about approximately 1 foot by 1 foot circle-ish shape. That's what we're kind of striving for. You know, however it looks is really just fine, okay? So if it looks a little different, it's okay, you know? We're just here to have fun. So this is the part where I'm gonna go cut out my pumpkin, okay? So in our mind's eye, we know what a pumpkin looks like, right? So you know what I'm actually gonna do first is I'm gonna kind of draw it with a pencil before I commit to actually using a knife to cut this out. I'm gonna just draw it out with my little pen here. I'm using the back of my pen. I'm not sure if you could see this well or not. And I'm going to show you guys on Zoom. I'm just tracing it out because, of course, if I don't like the way it looks, I can always flip it and actually don't like the way it looks. So I'm going to start over and I'm going to, not start over, but I'm going to flip it over. And you guys have that freedom. So you don't have to stick with something if you're not totally happy with it. And I do tend to be a perfectionist myself, and probably you are too. So let's try again. I'm like, I feel like I'm not pointing at the right spot. I'm so sorry, my friends. I'm trying really hard to point this at the right spot here. Okay, maybe this is gonna work better. And if you're commenting, I can't even see your comments right now, so apologies, Zoom. Okay, we're gonna try again. I'm holding this way up. So I wanna make this a pretty big pumpkin. What I'm doing is trying to perfect the shape before I cut it out, okay? So it's very, very light, but I just made it. And Maya's still eating pie. Well, okay. So now I'm gonna start to cut it. This is probably a part that you parents would want to do rather than have your kids do it. But it's up to you, of course. You know, if you have a vision for your child doing most of these steps, you can have them do it. If they're older and they're able to do it, it's totally cool. Whatever you see for this, you can do. So you do have lots and lots of freedom here. I'm so glad that I made the choice to redo and not use my first one. So if you look, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of like very gingerly kind of cutting around the shape. Anything extra that I have, I'm going to roll into a ball, and I'm going to show you guys how to turn it into like Play-Doh. We'll put some food coloring in it. All right, I'm going to just take a second here, put us back on our tripod, okay? And I just did that. So we're back on the tripod. Maya's munching away on her clay. I'm sure it's not that healthy to do that, but whatever. We're here to have fun, right? So if having fun means eating clay, so be it. Just trying to set up my little tripod here, and I do know it's hard to see, and again, I apologize. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull away my crust, okay? And I'll show you what I'm left with here. I'm left with my little pumpkin here. So I'm just holding it so you can see. Here I am. And I'm holding it here so my Zoom friends can see. There we are, okay? So this is where the fun starts, okay? Oh, hopefully this has been fun all along, right? I mean, I hope. So I got my pumpkin right here, Zoom friends. All right, so now this is the time where we meet our baby or our toddler, whoever's helping us. And they might have been helping you by playing, mushing it up for you. Now is the part where we get to press their hands, okay? So super fun here. And I know on Facebook Live, I think it's actually harder to see on Facebook Live, and I'll just keep showing you step by step. So, but this is the top of the pumpkin over here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna, oh, you have one shot, no pressure. But what you're gonna do is, so my baby wants to just like touch it everywhere. But I think what I'm actually gonna do is roll up her sleeve. This is Maya. And I'm gonna just press her hand. I go press, press, press. It's a bit of a train wreck. Okay, I'm just fixing her little thumb here because the thumb got a little bit messed up. But really all you need is like the slight imprint, okay? And so I'll show you in a second. I know on Facebook it's hard to see. Okay, now I got her foot. Gotta have a foot. What the foot feels like in the clay. Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll lift her foot up. Okay, we got a foot and a hand. Hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, so I just want to show you what I've got. So you're not going to pick up your piece right now, but I just want to show you what I have. So on Facebook Live, just want to show you. There we go. So you can see there's a foot and there's a hand there. Okay, and on Zoom, same thing. It is, I know it's hard to see. It's a foot and a hand, okay? So now what we're gonna do is our microwave step. So I'm just gonna go grab a plate and I'm gonna talk to you guys about this. So just give me 1 second. You wanna grab a plate? Like, I like a ceramic plate because these projects are gonna be a little bit moist, and the ceramic plate will, it will take the moisture, okay? So you know, if there's any moisture, it'll land on your plate instead of like sticking to your plate like it would on, let's say, a plastic, or like I should say, paper plate. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with putting this in the microwave for 1.5 minutes, and we're going to see what it looks like. Okay. We probably will need to, in total, put this in for about 4 minutes or so, depending on how thick your project is. Okay. But what I like to do is 1.5 minute increments. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that really quick. So I just have it on the plate. And I think I will read you guys a little pumpkin book. What do you think while we're waiting? So 1 minute and 30 seconds, perfect. And I have this book about babies loving Halloween, which they do, and I have a Peppa Pig book, okay? I can tell you for sure, babies do love Halloween, okay? Here I am, so we're gonna have a little bit of story time while we wait, okay? So our very first book is called Babies Love Halloween, all right? So it is a touch and feel book. Sorry, you know, but you can describe the texture to your child, right? The full moon shines on the pumpkin patch. Let's see. Wow. The cat is black like a squeaky bat. The witch says, trick or treat, and gets, ooh, what does it get? A yummy apple to eat. Okay, the owl asks, whoo, whoo. The ghost says, boo, boo, boo. Everything's ready. We'll check in 1 minute. We'll read our book. Scarecrow is happy to share her candy corn sweets. Happy Halloween, say the little monsters. Okay, we're going to go ahead and check in on our salt dough pumpkin. I'm going to put Miss Maya down for 1 second. All right, I can tell you right now, it's definitely going to need more time, but I'll show you where it's at. So again, I like to do 1.5 minute increments, okay? This is important because what you don't want is to overcook it. If you overcook it, what's going to happen is you're going to get bubbles, and the bubbles, you can't get rid of them. They're there then after they're there, you know, after they start showing up. I think I'm going to do 1 more minute right now and see, because it's actually what's happening. Hello, Margaret. I just want to let you know, Margaret. Margaret's from the library. What I'm going to be doing is sending you a video of this. So you'll be getting a video of this afterwards that you can post on the library website. So this is actually for folks at the library. So I'm just going to return to my screen here. Anyway, so here we are. Let me see. Sorry, guys. Okay, just repinned myself. Okay, so this is where we're at. We're going to do 1 more minute. Okay. And I'm going to read you guys 1 more book. Okay. And we got Maya. First we need Miss Maya. Okay. Maya, say hi, Margaret. Margaret just joined us. Oh, and my laptop just got unplugged. There we are. So our next book is Peppa Pig. Okay. I have Peppa's Giant Pumpkin. Okay, today is Halloween. The children are having a pumpkin competition. Sorry for my Facebook Live people. Everyone has their pumpkins ready to decorate, except for Peppa. Peppa's pumpkin is still growing at Granny and Grandpa Pig's house. After school, Granny and Grandpa Pig take Peppa to see her pumpkin, to see how her pumpkin has grown. It's the biggest pumpkin in the world, says Peppa. Granny Pig and Grandpa help Peppa decorate the pumpkin and turn it into a jack-o'-lantern. Oh, the pumpkin is too big to fit in the car. How will they get it to the contest now? Grandpa Pig knows just who to call for help. Miss Rabbit comes to the rescue. She flies her helicopter and lifts the giant pumpkin into the sky. The children in Peppa's class have decorated their pumpkins. They wonder why Peppa is Suddenly, they hear a funny noise outside. It's Peppa's flying pumpkin. Yippee, says the class. Peppa made it to the pumpkin competition just in time. The prize for the best flying pumpkin goes to Peppa, says Madame Gazelle. Peppa loves Halloween. Happy Halloween. All right, let's go check on our pumpkin. I just want to check in. Okay, I see, Margaret, that you wrote to me. I will write you back. Just give me one moment. So we're going to check in. And I just want to show you what it's looking like now. So this is our pumpkin so far, okay? And what's happening is that the front of it's cooked, but the back needs to get a little bit more cooked. I could see that it's a little bit on the wet side. That's okay because it will eventually dry in time on its own, okay? So it takes a little bit of time if you wanted to air dry it. It's quicker to use the microwave. So again, I'm gonna stick this in the microwave one more time, okay? All right. So it's just in for one more minute, okay? Just want to say hi to my friends at Port Jeff Library. I see you guys joined in. And again, I'm going to send you guys a video of this, so you'll get the whole video with all the steps, everything. And I read some books, okay?
Perfect.
And I've got Miss Maya here. Here's Miss Maya. She says hiya.
Hi, Maya.
Hi, Maya.
Hi, sweet girl.
We're almost ready to paint. So I'm going to talk to everyone about what supplies we're going to need to paint. So what you're going to want is a cup of water for your paintbrush. Okay, you're going to need a paper towel and you're going to need your paint colors. Okay. Now I had mentioned Mod Podge as well. So Mod Podge is an optional step that you can use after your paint dries. But I'm not going to show you that here today because I don't have any Mod Podge with me. I might do it later after everything dries. But I will show you guys how to paint your pumpkin. Okay. So let's just look and see here. So I was saying that your pumpkin probably needs a total of about 5 minutes to totally be dry and ready for painting. Okay, so indeed, it's ready now. I'm actually going to leave this on this plate. Okay, this is going to be my painting plate. I'm going to adjust my cameras. But first, before I do any of that, I'm going to show you guys my techniques in how I pour my paint out. Okay, so I want to show you the colors I have. I have black, that's going to be for the handprints. Okay, I also have orange, that's going to be for, you know, most of the pumpkin. And then I have green, okay, which is going to be for the stem. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just looking for like a lid. I'll show you what I'm going to use to pour the paint on. So bear with me 1 second. I don't know why, but I prefer using these lids from like the soup containers. They work really well for as like a paint palette. So it's just my preference, but you can use anything you have in your house. So a paper plate is fine, literally almost anything. But I will show you, I'm gonna start pouring them out and I'll just show you right on the camera, you know, the amount that we're pouring out. And I see some people just joining in on Facebook Live. So if that's you just joining in, no problem. I will be posting this video later, about an hour or two. I'll have it up there. So if you missed it now, you can catch it again. It's also going to be on the Port Jeff Library website, probably later today. okay? Or maybe sometime this week. Okay, so I got black, I have a little bit of green, and I'm gonna need a bunch of orange, probably twice the amount that I've already put out of the other colors, okay? So, just show you, so it's just these 3 colors, okay? And I'm gonna grab some water. So again, I have my little soup container here. Just gonna fill this with some water. And I'm gonna grab a paper towel so I can clean my brushes as I need to. Okay, so I'm just moving a couple things around here so I have space. Okay, so what I did was I just put a little bit of water in this container, okay? And I'll just chat with you guys about what we're gonna do before we do it. Now, if you're doing this along with me, you're gonna see that your pumpkin's pretty hot and it's probably hard to handle right now. So you can do this on your plate like this, so that you don't burn yourself, or so that your child doesn't burn himself. If your child's older, they might be the person doing the painting. It's up to you, okay? So, I just heard my baby burp. What I'm gonna do first, I'm trying to like hold this up as I show you, and I'm working on 2 different screens here, so, and it's a little hot. But basically, what I'm gonna be doing is painting in my footprint and my handprint that we made with Miss Maya before. So I'm gonna work quickly. You guys can work slowly at your own pace. I just wanna work fast enough so that, you know, you guys can see where we're going with this and you can just get into your work, okay? So this is the foot, all right? And there's no rush. Now, I'm not painting the details yet. I really didn't start with like the toes or anything like that. Just doing this a little bit at a time. You can use any brush you have in your house. Okay, so I'm starting to paint out this hand here. Facebook Live, I know I'm holding it at a weird angle. I just don't want it to slide off because it will. Now, if you find that you're not happy with how your paint strokes are coming out, or if they're coming out too wide or something, we can actually fix that. We can fix that when we go into our orange in a little bit. And you're probably saying, what on earth is she talking about? But don't worry, just trust. I've got plans for you. Even the best artists have little troubles sometimes, but I have some tricks for you to help you out. Okay, so we got her hand coming along here. And yeah, there are definitely areas I'm gonna fix once I start with my orange, okay? So now I'm back to the foot over here. I'm gonna start making the footprints. And I will show you where I'm at, okay? So we got the little toes. That was super fun. I know this is coming out a little bit on the sloppy side, but we will fix it like I was saying. So don't worry. If yours is coming out a little bit on the sloppy side, don't worry. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. You're just like me. But so this is approximately where we're at. And now I'm gonna wipe my brush. I just washed my brush off, okay? And I'm going to use my paper towel to clean. So I'm just dabbing my brush in the water and I'm getting all the black paint out of it. Now, of course, if you don't want to use black for the inside of your pumpkin, you can use any color, right? You guys are the artists. I mean, you could have a blue pumpkin. You can use whatever colors you guys like, okay? So you're not stuck with just the colors that we're doing. You can do any colors, okay? Next step, I'm going to be doing orange. This is for most of the pumpkin, and I'm also going to be doing the edges. Okay. Just trying to make sure everyone can see. And of course, I got a little bit on the foot. There's going to be a lot of cleaning up of my project, you know, making it look better before I, you know, declare it finished, you know? So don't worry. You want to paint your edges too. If your child's older, this can definitely be a job for them, right? They could be painting this on their own. you go. So I'm just not going to paint the stem. Okay. And really what I need is a thinner brush, but I don't have one here. So I probably will clean mine up later, but you get the gist, right? Doing my best with like a really super fat brush. Okay. So I'm just kind of, so I call this cutting in now. I'm just kind of cutting in on the shape that I had there before that I was saying the shape came out a little sloppy, so I'm cutting in with the other color. So that's called cutting in. All right. And I'm seeing all these different areas. So in your salto, you might notice that it's very rough, and what you could do is use your brush like it's a sponge, and that's a great way to kind of fill in areas that need a little bit of help. And I always tell my students to be a white spot detective. You want to zap them out with your paint color. And I do miss my students. And I want to ask you guys a big favor. So if you do this with your student, can you post it to our Facebook page? It's just Studio E Art Class, or can you send a picture to the Port Jeff Library and let the gals over there know that you did the project? I would just like to see some finished pictures, and I'd love to post them later. So, if you do this, definitely let me know, because I want to know that people are doing our projects. Just to show you where we're at right now, okay? So now, if you're like me and you're using a brush that's way too fat and you're having issues, I'm going to show you a tip. What you can do, what I just did was I just wetted my brush, okay? And now I'm going to dry it using my paper towel here. And when I dry it, what I'm going to do is try to bring the tip into a pointy shape. Okay, so sometimes you can actually work magic with a brush that's not perfect. All right, and I'm not like guaranteeing that it's going to work, but it's something you could try if you're like me and you're having this particular issue. Right, it's working out okay for me. It's not perfect, but we're not going for perfection, right? We're just going for having a fun bonding experience with our children. Okay, so I'm just fixing mine up. I know you can't see me working, but it's a little bit easier for me to get details if I have my project down on the table. So I'll just show you where I'm at momentarily. Okay. And I appreciate you guys taking time out to make some art with me this morning on this dreary morning. I want to let you guys know that I teach virtually with the Port Jeff Library once a month, and it's usually on a Monday, but sometimes it changes. So you can always look in at their schedule and see when I'm on and catch me. And be sure to register for programs if you do that, okay? Make sure that you actually are using the registration button and registering so that they know who's coming, right? So I'm going to show you in 1 second where we're at with this. I'm going to be redoing my foot in like a second too, because foot needs a little bit of help. So you'll see what I'm talking about. But this is where we're at so far. Okay. And before we do the touching up stuff, I'm just going to paint the stem green. So I'm painting the stem. All right, and then we're going to be, looking for areas that need a little bit of touching up, let's say. And we'll go around and we'll fix it up, and then we're going to be letting these dry. And I'll chat with you guys about some tips for doing the Mod Podge. I do have lots of tips. Okay, so I just painted the stem, so I'll show you guys. All right, I painted on my plate a little bit. I'm sure you can see that probably. I'm wiping my brush off. I'm gonna clean my brush here. And I'm gonna go back into my black paint. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna clean up my edge here, because I was saying that I wanted to fix up the edge on the foot. I hear Maya playing with the toy in the other room and it just talked and I thought someone was in my house. And I was like, who's here? Just one of her toys. Those toys can be pretty scary. Okay. So I am gonna take time later on with my thin brush and I'm going to fix this up, and when I post the YouTube video, it will be of my fixed up project, you know, after I make it beautiful. Not that it's not beautiful now, but I know that it needs a little bit of help. It needs the help of a thinner brush to really get some of these areas, but this is where I'm at right now. Okay, so our job, once you're at this step, we're gonna let these dry. You're gonna put them someplace where they can dry, where they'll be undisturbed, okay? Now, I'll just chat with you for 1 second about if you're planning to do Mod Podge. So the Mod Podge step, the way that's gonna work is like this. You can get Mod Podge from Michael's or any other store. You can get it in a really small bottle. It's a great thing to have around the house if you're doing crafts for yourself or with your children. It's like the perfect crafting tool that like every crafter needs to have. And they have all different types. They have like glitter, they have one that's matte, although I don't know why you'd really need matte Mod Podge. You could probably just use glue. So Mod Podge, what it is it's just glue. It's just white glue, but it dries shiny and clear. Okay, so that's the idea, is it makes your projects look like really finished. And also the beautiful thing that it does is it makes it waterproof. So it means that the paint that you painted on your pumpkin will never come off, or it won't for like at least like a really long time. So it makes your project more finished. It will make it last longer. It's a really, really good step. It's a good thing to do. You can always run to the store, get it, and then do it later, okay? The way you want to do that is you want to make sure your project's completely dry. So if you're doing it right now, you can always use a hair dryer. You could dry your project and then do the Mod Podge, but you want to make sure the whole thing is completely dry and there's not even one little area that's still wet, okay? Because that paint will like, you know, just, it will just really mess up your project. It'll like blend into everything by accident, or smudge in, I should say. So you wait until it's dry, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna use your brush, and you're gonna make sure your brush is clean, of course, and you're gonna put a light layer. You're just gonna paint the Mod Podge onto the whole project, okay? You know, I like a swift back and forth motion, and it's gonna come out white, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna let it dry. So that'll be like your first coat. You want to let it dry so the white will turn into clear, shiny, and then you can go put a second coat, and then it really will be finished. And please, please snap a picture and show me. So I just wanna show you, back to this clay, and we're almost done by the way, but back to this clay here, I have a whole lot of extra. What I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna hold on to it for my older daughter who's in school right now, and when she gets home, I'm gonna do the same project for her, okay? But here's some other tips that you can do. One thing you could do is you could put food dye and glitter. Ooh, that's so much fun, right? So you can mix some food dye colors in here and mix it together, and it's going to make it like a Play-Doh. And what I do is I put it in saran wrap to keep it fresh. So I'm gonna actually wrap this ball up in saran wrap so that it's fresh for my older daughter who's gonna do this project later. But yeah, you can experiment. So you can put in you know, drops of food color. You could still microwave it with the food color. You can also roll it out and make cookie dough ornaments, right? So it's the exact same method that we did, and basically you just roll it out on a sheet exactly like we did, but you can use cookie cutters, put a little hole in it, microwave them, and bam, you've got some beautiful ornaments. Christmas is right around the corner, right? So the possibilities are limitless. So if you did this project with me, you definitely have extra, because the recipe made a lot more than what we needed for this project, but that's a really good thing. So it's really, really fun. It's also fun for us adults. Like there's so much, you can look on Pinterest and see all different projects you can make. So I hope you guys had fun today. And I will be at the Port Jeff Library teaching virtually next month as well. So you can just look and see what's in store. Again, please make sure that you click and register ahead of time so that you're in, so that they know. And again, if you missed this, I will be posting the video. Give me a few hours, and also on our Port Jeff Library website. Okay? So I just want to say goodbye, everyone. So long. Hang on.